In this video, I cover angle training, the Burns principle, priority training, poor form and cheating, full range of motion. So, angle training is when you attack the muscle from different angles. A classic example would be doing a bench press. Bench press will attack your chest from basically the front position, and yes, you will flex your chest and you'll get pretty good flexion in chest area and utilizing some of those triceps as well. But at the same time, when you go to do a decline or an incline bench press, you're attacking that same muscle but from a different angle. So by attacking your muscles from different angles, you can achieve better hypertrophy. And more hypertrophy means more muscle. So for instance, when you attack the upper portions of your chest, it's almost as if you're isolating them, but at the same time you're still doing a mass building movement. Then do the lower chest region, which isn't activating upper chest too much and mid chest that much, and forces your lower chest to grow and give you a deeper chest and eventually bring out the chest in you. So, things like that. The Burns principle talks about doing one set with full range of motion and then another set with partial range. So a good example of this would be start off by doing some bicep curls, and as you're doing them, you did your set of 8. Now do a set of partial. So only go up halfway, and that's going to give you a crazy pump, and it's going to just flush your muscles with blood, and it's going to make them fuller, and you're going to feel fantastic. At the same time, this is a great way to shock the muscles, and like I told you earlier, more muscle confusion. Remember, we're trying to do things differently, we're trying to mix things up in the gym, and that's going to give us greater gains. Keep that in mind. Priority training is when you attack the muscle that you're weakest at first. So usually in any exercise that you do, the muscle that's weakest is usually what's going to prevent you from continuing the exercise. So for instance, when people are doing squats, usually it's their lower back region that prevents them from doing more squats. And once your lower back starts to give out, the whole kinetic chain and the whole body basically starts to break down, and your butt can get a little bit weaker, and then your hams aren't doing too good, and then eventually your quads give out. So attacking a weak point first in a workout can improve your other workouts, at the same time bust more plateaus, which is exactly what we want. So for instance, next time you're coming into the gym, what you may want to do is you want to reorganize your workouts so you're attacking the weak muscles first. So do deadlifts first next time you come in. And I mean, obviously you might not want to do that on a leg day because then you're going to exhaust your lower back and won't be able to do much. But do deadlifts on a different day, get your back a little bit stronger, get it more recovered, and then when you're hitting your legs and your back's fully recovered, your back is stronger, which will allow you to do more weight and more reps, and eventually you get more gains. For me, for instance, I have always had lagging triceps. I've always been able to develop a good chest, a good solid full chest, but my arms were lagging, and so what I did was I decided that when I come into the gym that I will focus more on my weaker points. And by doing that, I've increased my tricep strength a little bit, subsequently making my bench strength a little bit higher every time. So remember, attack those weak points first, but careful not to overtrain them. Like any muscle group, it's easy to overtrain. Poor form and cheating is something that a lot of people end up doing naturally. And while most people are going to tell you not to do this, and they're right, you probably shouldn't be cheating too much, poor form and cheating can help quite a lot. So for instance, let's say you're doing your bicep curls, and you've done 7 reps and you can't complete the 8th rep. Naturally, your body's natural instincts kick in and you'll complete that rep, but you're going to cheat a little bit. And it's okay to cheat every now and then when you need to complete the repetition. It is better for you to complete the repetition than for you to just go up partial rep and crash. Although when you're focusing on partial reps, that's a technique that you can utilize and you can leverage that. But When you have used that technique, you now need to employ other techniques to get the full benefit and have more leverage to attain more muscle confusion. So, a lot of times you'll see when people are doing a rowing, they're doing the rows, they may do a little bit more jerking near the end. They may jerk their body a little bit more, which will allow them to complete the rep and subsequently build more muscle. At the same time, there is risk while doing this, because you can basically increase the chances of getting injured, and nobody wants that, nobody needs that, and if you get injured, that's the exact opposite of what you want. So heed this warning, you can cheat every now and then to help you complete the rep, but at a price and at a risk. So for instance, when I'm doing bicep curls, sometimes I may use a little bit of back inertia to finish that set, and I've noticed I have hurt my back a little bit before in the past, but like I said, utilize it sparingly and you can attain better physique. Another important concept is full range of motion. So a lot of times when people are learning how to do an exercise, they don't really do a full range of motion, usually because either the person who taught them how to do it taught them how to do it wrong, or they just don't understand what they're doing. When you're doing the full range of motion, the two things you need to keep in mind is the concentric motion and the eccentric motion. Eccentric means when you're relaxing the muscle and you're coming down, it's kind of like you're doing a negative, and concentric is when you're reaching that flexion and you're basically flexing the muscle. And as you're doing this, you want to flex as much as you can, complete that repetition, but go up as high as you can on the bicep curl, for instance, and then when you're coming down, go all the way down and really feel the kind of stretch in the muscle. But be careful, because when you go real heavy, sometimes it's not good to have full range of motion. Like all of these principles, they have their ups and downs, and they have little things you just need to kind of keep in the back of your mind. But when you're going with medium to lower weights, having full range of motion can really help you fatigue that muscle properly, and at the same time develop all the muscle fibers equally and evenly. So that's how you do full range of motion. In the next video, I'll talk about how to have more mind to muscle connection, how you can utilize that to get better gains, continuous tension, what that means, peak contraction, pre-exhaustion, and negative reps. See you in the next video, guys.